crafters. In this video, we're going to make a theater stage fun fold card using supplies from Easter Friends Cling Stamp Set and the Stitch Rectangle dies. Then we'll use Pansy Petals Designer Series paper for the background paper. Hi, I'm Joan Heberlein, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down so we can get started. Here's that theater stage fun fold card that we're going to make tonight. In this one I used the Evening Evergreen cardstock and the Pansy Petal Designer Series paper. And that's the inside of the card. I don't know if you can see that portion. And it will sit like this. And it's relatively easy to make. We use one piece of cardstock. Let me get that out here for you to see. We used one piece of cardstock and we cut it in half and we cut it in quarters. And then we cut off 1/4 of an inch. And we don't even use this piece. So that goes to be used somewhere else. Then we take one of the quarters. So now this is 4 inches by 5.5, and we score it at 2 3/4. So that's basically scoring it in half, and then we score it at 1 1/4. And so that's the pieces that we have to create our shutter mechanism. And then we do the same thing for this one. And then we also have our designer series paper, and we'll cut this at 1 1/4 by 4 inches. And we have 2 pieces of that. And then we've got 2 pieces of the 2 3/4 by 4 inches, and then one at 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Don't worry about these measurements because I'll have them in the description below. Then we have just some scrap paper here. And this is to hold the shutter mechanism on the card. So it's a 1/2 inch piece of cardstock by maybe 5.5 inches long. And then we're going to fold it over on the side, and I'll show you that in a few minutes here. And I happen to have the same Calypso Coral, so I use the matching paper. You don't really see this paper. Then we also need 2 pieces of basic white, and I cut this at 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. I used the 4th largest rectangle die, and then for this one I used the 2nd smallest rectangle die. And obviously I already cut those out for you. And then we're going to use Easter Friends, where we will stamp this chick on the inside of the card, and then we'll also stamp this sentiment on the inside of the card and this one on the outside of the card. So let us get started here. So we're going to take this 4 inch by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4 inches. And then we're going to score it at 1 1/4 inch. And then we're going to fold and burnish that. So let's fold this first one. And I want to get a nice crisp edge on there. And then we're going to fold the second one. And again, burnish it on both sides to give it a nice crisp edge. And we've got this one taken care of already. So what I thought I'd do first is stamp this chick on here and the sentiment so that we can let that dry. Then we can come back and finish those off later. So we're going to use our Memento ink. And I am going to turn it this way so I can see how much ink I'm putting onto that chick. I'll set that aside. And then we're going to do this Happy Easter yet. All right, that turned out pretty good too. So I believe we're done with our stamps. So I am just going to cover that up for right now. And then I'm just going to bring in a grid mat, and we're just going to stamp this off, because what I like to do is clean my stamps while the ink is still wet on there, and I'm getting rid of the excess ink here. And then we'll bring in our Stampin' scrub. And I have a little bit of spray I want to put on here, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Mist and spray it on the left side. And I know to do it on that side because this is a raindrop. That tells you it's the wet side. And here's the sunshine. That's the dry side. So just going to scrub these real quick. And now we can bring in our paper. And I am going to glue this down. And I've got our silicone mat here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of our liquid glue here. And I have it in this bottle that has a needle nose tip to it. The needle nose tip allows me to draw a fine line of glue, which in turn gives me precision on those small pieces. Okay, let's get this on here. And I am going to stop here right now because we really want to apply this to this card base. So we're going to put glue on this smaller strip here. And then we'll set that on the card base. And it is 4 inches, setting on a 4 1/4 inch. So I have 1/8 of an inch at the top and the bottom. So that's like a border that we're leaving there. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on this other side. And then they should line up in the center. Perfect. And I am just going to turn this over and just use my bone folder to rub out any excess glue and make sure we have a good contact there. And this is the glue that we're using, our multi-purpose glue. And we've got one more panel to put on. And I will put it on here now. And then let's do this one. And this is going to cover the entire panel. And I am going to line it up on the outer edge. And need to make sure I've got it on straight. Just using the bone folder again, flatten all those air pockets. And let's see if we can close it properly. There we go. Okay. So next we want to take these things here, these pieces of paper, and create this, I don't know what it's called. It's basically a piece to hold it in place, so like some kind of brace. So I've got it there, and I'm just going to bring it down here. And we only need about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to snap that off there, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And we need to make the front of the card before I can actually glue these on. So we'll do the front of the card next. So what we want to do is we want to take this designer series paper and put glue on it and have it attach to the entire front of the card. So let's do that. Now we're going to be cutting this out in the middle, so I want to make sure that we've got glue all over the place so that it won't break free on us. And then we just want to match up all the corners. And next we want to take our die, and that's the 4th largest die. And we want to cut that right there. I'll be right back. So here we are. And that looks good. We can save this piece for another project. What we want to do is then glue these pieces onto here. And we're going to just glue them down. We'll just start at the top. We want to have it closer to the edge of the card. So there's like a 1/16 of an inch there and a 1/16 of an inch there. And you can even see the card right there, but that's okay because there's going to be, the shutter is going to be in between those two pieces. So it's okay if it sticks out a little bit there. So you want to get that down. Okay. We'll do the other side. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to just make sure those are down real good. And then we can just test this by putting this card in here. We may have to adjust it. Okay, that's working. All right, so I am going to pull this back out because we want to put the thumb holes in there. And we don't want to be cutting it too much into this right here. So I'm going to raise it and let's get it right, evening it. I'm going to use the grid paper so I know that I'm centered properly. Okay, so that is centered right to left as long as I don't move it. And then I just need to raise it up a little bit. Now this is a 1-inch punch. We no longer sell it. I think it shifted a little bit. Just a little bit there. I think I can fix that by just bringing it a little bit farther out. That looks a lot better. So it was crooked. So this one was cut deeper in, and this one was cut crooked. So I just straightened it out by cutting off a little bit more. And now they're even. So next we need to do is color our chick. And let me just top off the glue for right now so it doesn't dry out on us. So the chick on the first card, I used Stampin' blends. So I used the dark So Saffron and I covered the shaded spots, and then I went over that and blended it out with the light So Saffron. Then next I used the dark Calypso Coral on the beak, and I used it on the shading parts. Then used the light Calypso Coral to kind of blend that out. And I didn't use the Old Olive. I thought I was going to use Old Olive, but I used the stamp instead. So we'll use the stamp again, and we're going to use Pear Pizzazz for the stamp for the leaves at the bottom. So let's do that right now. There we go. And let me scrub that off real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the watercolor pencils instead. And I've got the So Saffron. Actually, it's Daffodil Delight. there wasn't a So Saffron on here. So it's Daffodil Delight. And then we've got our Calypso Coral for the beak. And I'm just going to do little circles to color that in. And we'll use the same technique on the feet. And I don't worry about the grass that I'm coloring over the top of it. I think it still shows up just fine. And I did go out of the lines a little bit, so I'm just going to take this sand eraser and just touch that up, because I don't want to have the color outside of the stamped image. Okay, and I'm just going to go back where the dark images and just make it a little darker. So there's like little shading lines there. I'm just going to go back over those. Same thing on the beak. Then we're going to take our Daffodil Delight and use the same type technique. Circles. I'm going to go right over those shading lines again, just to make it a little bit darker in those spots. Okay, so I'm done with that. But what I'm going to do next is I am going to use our blending pen. And I'm going to take it and go over the image and kind of blend all those lines where you can see the coloring strokes. And it's just making it all one color. And I'm not going over the beak right now. We'll do that last. So I'm going around the beak. And I don't want to get this part darker, so that's why I went off the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and just use it on this white paper until I don't see any yellow strokes. And there's no more yellow coming out, so now I'm going to go and do the beak. And then we're just going to go through that and get it till there's no more peach coming out, or Calypso Coral, I guess. And I think it's back to the normal color. It is stained, but it's not dirty. It's just stained. So then we want to just glue this onto the card in the center portion. Trying to line them up between two edges there. So I've got 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom, and about 1/8 of an inch to the fold line. So now let's get this back in here. So we just feed it in Here's one side. And the other side. And then we need our sentiment. So, and I think I'm going to put this on with glue dots. I'll do one down here. And I think this is one of those rolls where the glue dots are on here backwards. And I'm just a little klutzy getting them off because I'm used to pulling them off the other way. So once I get done with that, I'll be happy when I can buy a new roll. So there we have that. And then we're going to put a butterfly on. Let's put 3 on. We'll put a bigger one on center portion. We'll just put one right there. One down here. I should probably use my take your pick tool, but that was just stuck on my finger when I pulled it off from the paper. And we'll do one up here. There we go. So when you open it, sending warm and happy wishes this spring. So we have this one, and we've got this one. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Bear with me a little bit longer because I want to let you know the promotion's going on right now. The All Together collection includes early release products from the 2022 to 2023 annual catalog. It's an exciting new range of natural Stampin' blends and exclusive products that you can't get anywhere else. The All Together collection includes the Here Together bundle, which is the Here Together stamp set and the Here For You dies. It also includes the Natural Tones Stampin' Blends collection, which is 10 individual Stampin' blends, all in natural tones. It also includes the All Together 6x6 inch designer series paper. Create projects inspired by you with the All Together designer series paper. This black and white paper features bold graphic designs that will complement any project. The following exclusive products are only available while supplies last: the Here For You dies, the Here Together bundle, and the All Together collection. Promotion ends May 2nd, 2022. Discover the depths of the ocean and your artistic abilities with the Waves of the Ocean collection. This coastal collection includes an inspiring set of stamps and detailed dies, both early release products from the upcoming 2022-2023 annual catalog, plus a pack of paper made from the images of hand-poured paint, blue-hued foil sheets for a sea of shine, and radiant rhinestones for a splash of sparkle. Each an exclusive product you can only purchase during the promotion period. Promotion ends May 2nd, 2022. Meet your mini crafting companion, the mini Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine. This mini but mighty machine is durable, portable, and easy to use. It's the perfect pick if you're a budding beginner who wants to branch out, a paper crafting pro who wants to craft on the go, or someone who's short on storage space. Make precise cuts and embossed designs for any paper project. Originally $60, it can be yours for only $48 between March 1st to the 31st. The Mini Cut and Emboss machine is compatible with a large selection of Stampin' Up! Embossing folders and dies. Kickstart your collection and combine your Mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with any or all of the following stamp and die bundles. They're also 20% off during the month of March. Mark your calendar. I'll be back Saturday, March 26th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing something from the new mini catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.